recording. Okay, so
Did you
welcome,
wait for me? I
welcome
hope
to the
not,
next.
Fiona.
Hey?
I hope you weren't waiting for me.
No, just you just came in when we started.
Okay.
So your timing is perfect.
Thanks.
Okay, so let's just do a quick check-in, and we'll start with Anita.
Hi, morning all. I've been good. Just had a bit of an issue with my shoulder. So I've been doing lots of meditation. And I realize I'm so addicted to our Sunday satsang. I literally sit here sometimes from 8 o'clock doing my stuff and waiting for Fiona. Loving my Sunday mornings. Thank you.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you, thank you. Vanessa.
Hi, morning everybody. Okay, hello everybody. Lovely week. Didn't do much, I must say. I did a lot of reading. Yes, no news, really. I'm here. I'm happy to be here.
Cool. Fantastic. Barbara.
Yes, morning everyone. Also very happy to be here. Had a very busy week because we started building operations again on Case House, so I've had a lot to do.
Okay.
But like Anita, I have a frozen shoulder. I don't know what she's got, but I have got serious shoulder issues and wrist issues. And yesterday developed a pain in my groin. So I've had loads of aches and pains, and I'm just wondering whether it isn't something to do with all these energies that we're being bombarded with. I don't know. Anyway, I'm also happy to be here. Nice to see everyone.
Cool. We'll then include some healing in the guided meditation today for all those bits and bobs in the bodies that's not operating as they should, that is holding on stuck energies. Okay. Next.
Hi, everybody. Morning. Yeah, good week actually. After I think rounding up with you guys again last Sunday, which is good, and excited for today. Thank you.
Good. Fantastic. Mickey.
Morning, everyone. Yeah, long week. Too much to say, but too little time. So, yeah, just looking forward to today. Thanks.
Cool. Welcome. Parisha.
Hi, can you hear me? Yeah, I think I just need this. I need to increase my vibration. It's feeling down. Last year, this time my mother-in-law was in a coma and the family is feeling a lot of sensitivities right now. We're renovating as well, and I just feel like I'm giving a lot. I'm coaching the entire week, so my energies, I'm giving a lot, and my family is needing a lot right now. So I really need a top up to just hold us through this time. I know the next few weeks are going to be tough because it was very tough. My mother-in-law was in a coma for 6 weeks, and I think the family is just bringing up all those emotions right now. So I just need a major top up.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll hold you and your family also then in the meditation today and everything that we get to do.
Thank you.
Someone sent me a message this morning to say with this retrograde season, we are traveling through the underworld of our own lives, clearing of the past, releasing the old and making way for the new. This is a time of growth, although we may not be able to feel it. We are all wading through the darkness because something is being reborn. So I can definitely feel it. That's why I think I also posted the Schumann resonance stuff. I don't know where or what energies are shifting or clearing or doing whatever it's doing, but it's definitely, I felt, I don't know, for 3 days I had migraines and it just didn't want to go away. Doesn't matter what I took, even I took migraine packs, cocktails, and that didn't work. So I thought there must be other influences or other stuff in the energies going on for us to clear it. And actually, after having a discussion with somebody, my headaches lifted. But I know there's lots, and our body is responding to it. Our body tells us where it is stuck. Mine was in the third eye, clearing out. I guess now that I think about it, all that I didn't want to see, all that I didn't want to acknowledge that is happening, that I can now see clearly, which is a part and parcel, like a rude awakening, when you have to see certain things that you haven't or didn't want to or acknowledge. So yeah, I was thinking, Barbara, about the Metavasity course, and when we got taught the drama triangle, because I had to now look at the drama triangle playing out in my current environment. And I completely forgot about it until somebody said, oh, you go and look at how to get yourself out of that drama triangle. I said, oh, okay, let me revisit that. So I was just reading up on it and just trying to clear that, just because I do so much to shift the victim and persecutor consciousness within myself and in my environment. So when I see it, it's like, no, I don't want to play in that triangle. It's not my playing ground. And shift that. And so, because somebody wanted to pull me into that, and I am not game. There's certain things that I'm game for.
Fiona, what is the drama triangle?
So the drama triangle is where you have the persecutor is the one point. Then it's the other point is the victim, and the other point is the rescuer. So it's a persecutor, victim, and rescuer. And it's to change the dynamic of that, because when you're in that drama triangle, the persecutor will be the one that comes down on another like a ton of bricks. So they're the blaming, and they're the executioners, and they the bullies, and they do something towards the victim. The victim is, oh, poor me, I can't stand in my power. Not, we all go through this poor me issues, or I'm victim. I had to face that as well in certain aspects. And then there's a rescuer that comes to rescue the victim from the persecutor. So then three parties get locked into that triangle, and at jobs it's the same. The boss will pick on one person and they will feel like a victim, and then they will run to somebody else to rescue them from that. But it's also explained that you can change roles. So sometimes the persecutor will actually feel like a victim and also want somebody to, because they're a victim of the circumstances, or somebody made them shout, or yeah. And the rescuer usually rescues somebody that actually doesn't even feel or know that they're a victim, or feel like they're a victim. They just, certain people that step into that triangle and say, oh, okay, I'll be the rescuer. And we tend to, this when we're still unconscious and unaware, we tend to gravitate to certain roles automatically. It's our default role. We like to, certain people like to play the victim role, one after the other experience, and just have that experience. Others will always want to be the rescuer, and play the rescuer role. If it's called for or not called for, they just want to be the hero. And others tend to always just be a persecutor in everybody's life. So when we're still unconscious, we are drawn into others' drama triangles, and then we tend to play those roles until you get the lesson and you see, oh, I actually don't want this experience. I actually don't want to be part of this triangle anymore, and we have to shift it. So an epiphany and a realization that I had last night was that there was still a small part of me that I realized that has been wanting, I guess, my dad to be the hero in my life. Come rescue me, because you want your dad to be a hero. And he's not interested in playing that role. He's interested in playing other roles. And I realized, okay, so that has been sort of one of my defaults. But then I thought, okay, so then I'm playing victim. And when you look at these things, you don't like what you see. It's like, I'm not a victim. I don't want to play a victim. I don't want to play this somebody needs to come and save me. No. Okay. I'm going to say I'm unsavable. Not that I'm unsavable, but I don't want to be somebody that needs to be saved. So I need to stand in my power more, be grounded more, and now actually being able to see things more clearer, making conscious decisions of, okay, so what is my next step? Where actually do I want to place myself? And these retrograde periods has given us an opportunity to look at those deep-seated stuff, childhood stuff. So I was placed here to revisit that and to look at the core truths that was still playing in the background in our subconscious mind, so that makes life a certain way. And if we don't want life to be a certain way, we need to change. It needs to change within us so that our experiences can change in the future. So yeah, no, so now I'm weighing up, okay, so the world is our oyster. Where would I like to place myself? And I'm gravitating a little bit, my thoughts is gravitating south. Going where I feel more at home. So we'll see. The cards are still in the air, but it's like the wind is blowing in a southerly direction at the moment with my thoughts. So when opportunities open up, if and when they do, I will most definitely take them. But it is, I can see the value of this experience. So it's definitely solidified in my mind. So you can look up drama triangles, or how to get out of drama triangles, or understanding more of drama triangles. There's loads of YouTube clips if you want to know more, and then you can see the patterns that people form, and even your own patterns. So it's for self-reflection.
Thank you.
Welcome. Alrighty. Okay, so last night as I connected with our group, I this time asked one of my favorite decks, the Magical Mermaids and Dolphins, asked them for messages for us. And on the reflection, after everything that I've realized, I can now the messages is even more profound than I thought before I drew it. We get more and more puzzle pieces, and things that comes together for us. So the first card, the two cards came up for us. So the first card that I drew was positive energy. I'll So it's a card with dolphins swimming, so because they epitome of joy and positive energy. So they say surround yourself with positive people and situations and avoid negativity. And yes, that is very, very relevant. So they say your manifestation work is going wonderfully well. By drawing this card, you're encouraged to take the process to an even higher level by going on a negativity diet. This means avoiding negative influences as much as possible. Avoid negative discussions with yourself or others. Don't read pessimistic headlines. And steer clear of gossip-based magazines. The negativity diet will cleanse you of any hidden blocks that could slow down your manifestation of your dreams, to prevent them from coming true at all. Another thing that you can do is to apply Feng Shui, an ancient Chinese art of placement, to your physical environment, which will help enhance the positive energy in your surroundings. You're also asked to donate or sell items that are cluttering your home. So I've been thinking of what I can sell to lighten up my load so that I can move more easily to the next venture. This helps you bring in a new energy and opportunities, and will also establish an environment that promotes creativity, health, and abundance. So I think this applies to all of us, especially in this day and age and time that we are living in, with all the various news that's not so positive and other people's feelings that is not so positive. So I've been very much aware of the energies and thought forms, and not necessarily in alignment. So I love these Sundays where we get together and talk about stuff that I actually like to talk about. The card, as I was finished drawing the card, I saw one fell out, and the one that fell out that the Spirit gives us is break free. And the break free is a dolphin breaking through the just breaching, coming out of the water. They say try different ventures and experiences as a way to grow and learn. So a lot of messages is that we are going through a growth process, and that's maybe what you, Barbara, and Anita is experiencing with the growing pains, because we grow within ourselves, and then our body has to adjust to the new energies, and anything that is not in alignment with the new will be just have to work out, and it's to emotionally work it out. So we'll do that cleansing today. So it says that sometimes we get into ruts and routines because we feel safe and comfortable in them. By drawing this card, you're asked to swim outside your comfort zone. And it's time to take risks and explore new ways of thinking, making a living, and being in a relationship. When you have the commitment to explore and experiment, the world responds by giving you wonderful new experiences. Heaven isn't necessarily asking you to settle into new avenues, but instead test the waters and venture out. Sometimes we'll experiment and learn new things, and then when we return to our comfortable old routines, we have changed for the better. This is definitely a time for you to reach out and enjoy new options. Try something new today and tomorrow and the day after. and the month after. I don't think it should ever stop. So, yeah, I would love to know if that resonates with you or not. What message, what you have to say about the cards that has been drawn for the group. Nikki says yes. Barbara.
No, I agree about the trying something new completely. This is what I've been trying to do right through this lockdown, something different, baking, or which I don't normally do, cooking different sort of meals, obviously doing my own housework, which is also a novelty. And and at the beginning of June, I decided to become vegetarian. So that has given me, yes, on the 2nd of June. So that's given me a challenge for this month, is coming up with, interesting vegetarian food, basically.
Yeah.
So it's just new stuff that I can do within my circumstances at the moment. So yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah. Anyone else? Yes, Nix.
Yeah, so firstly, the drama triangle resonated hugely. Anyway, but I won't get into it, but that it was awesome. Like that now I just have a little way forward there. And that, the cards, it's amazing how over the last couple of weeks I've got renewed energy and confidence to strive to do things that I've wanted to do, but just haven't had the confidence, I suppose, outside of my normal work. So it is to do with earning income in a different way, or than I currently am, working for somebody. So yeah, it was like on point, absolutely on point, that card. I couldn't resonate any more with it. Yeah, it was awesome.
Awesome.
But yeah, that's it.
Thank you. Yes, Anita.
Hi, absolutely agree with Nikki. It resonates 100%. And I've been looking, I can't believe both the cards that you drew out. So I've been looking at ways to change, thinking about new things to do in my life. Haven't got to it, but it's something that I've been actually thinking. So when you read both the cards, I was like, oops, someone's reading my mind. Thank you, Fee.
Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay. Yes, Parisha.
Yeah, it seems like it's like everyone else, it's perfectly aligned. Lately, I've decided to really pay attention. It's become like more important about my energy levels and the frequencies I'm operating on. And I've been feeling very uncomfortable if anyone talks about another person, and I just don't want to have those conversations. And I really want to take that forward, because I don't want to be spoken about. I don't want to, their thing is their thing. I just want to be in joy and positivity and share that, be in that energy and not have it brought down. I want to take responsibility for it.
Yes. Taking responsibility is a big thing. And I guess that was one of the triggers yesterday, is somebody wanting to shift their responsibilities onto me. And I wasn't taking it, not at all, under no circumstances. So it's like sometimes people teach us how to set boundaries and what is allowable and not allowable. The lessons that we come to learn is not always necessarily pleasurable, but in going through them, you do become stronger in who you are, and what you choose, and what you allow and what you don't allow, because we teach people how to treat us, and we have to set sort of the example. And I love that you said that you don't want to engage in negative talk with about another person, because what goes around comes around. So it's someone has to stop the cycle. And that's with any negative energies. Somebody has to stop the negativity. And it starts with you, because it's your life and it's what you want to include in your vibration. So if you allow those influences in, it's still going to affect you, and it's not to allow that, because we do have control over our own lives. We do have a control what comes in, what comes out, what we feel in our hearts, and we need to feel good. Whatever we do, we need to feel good. And if it's feel good stuff, do plenty of it. If it's not feel good stuff, disengage. Exit the game. You don't have to play the games that other people play. You don't have to. You don't have to get entrapped or enrolled in that, because then you are similar to them, and if you don't want to be, then you need to be the one that changes the dynamic of it. Alrighty, so today we're going to read one of my favorite Kryon parables. And was wondering when this one will come up for us. And it is Wu and the Rooms of Lessons. And I just love this one. So the author's note is, I told you that I would share it's parable number 2, that I will share my favorites with you. And this is one of them. Although this parable was one of the first ones given by Kryon, it remains strong in relevance to our daily lives. Kryon's entire thrust is to give us the tools to raise our own vibration and that of the planet, to be everything possible while we are here. This parable has much hidden within it, and let's actually see the possibilities we have before us. It also tugs at our heart and asks us to remember who we really are. So the parable starts. There once was a human who we will call Wu. It's W-O. Wu's gender is not important to the story, but since you do not have an adequate word for neutral gender person, we call the human Wu to encompass a man called Wu, or a Wu man. Woman. However, for the sake of translation only, we will say that Wu is a him, but it applies to you, whatever your gender is. So like all humans in his culture, Wu lived in a house. But Wu was really only concerned with the room that he lived in, since it was uniquely his own. His room was beautiful, and he was charged with keeping it that way, which he did. Wu lived a good life. He was in a culture who never wanted for food, for there was plentiful. He was also never cold, for he always had cover. As Wu grew up, he learned many things about himself. He learned which things made him feel happy, and he would find objects to hang on his walls that he could look at, which will make him happy. Wu also learned which things made him feel sad, and he learned how to hang these things on the wall when he wished to feel sad. Wu also learned which things made him angry, and he found things to drag out and place them on the wall that he could also turn to when he chose to be angry. As was the case with other humans, Wu had many fears. Even though he had the basics in life, he feared other humans and certain situations. He feared those humans and situations that could bring change. For he felt secure and stable with the way things were. And he had worked hard to get it to that state. We feared the situations that seemingly had control over his stable room. And he also feared the humans who controlled these situations. He learned about God from other humans. They told him that being a human was a very small thing, and Wu believed it. He was told that God was everything and that he was nothing, but that God, in his infinite love, would answer Wu's prayers if he prayed earnestly and had integrity during his life. So, Wu, being a spiritual person, prayed to God that the humans and situations he feared would not create change, so that his room could remain the same. And God answered Wu's request. Wu feared the past, for somehow it reminded him of unpleasant things. So he prayed to God to block these things from his memory. And God answered Wu's request. Wu also feared the future, for it contained a potential for change and was dark, uncertain, and hidden from him. We prayed to God that the future would not bring change to his room, and God answered his request. We never ventured very far into his room, for all he really needed as a human was in one corner. When his friends came to visit, this is the corner that he showed them, and he was satisfied with this arrangement. We first noticed a motion in the other corner when he was about 26. It frightened him severely, and he immediately prayed to God for it to go away, for it suggested that he was not alone in his room, and this was not an acceptable condition. God answers Wu's request, and the motion stopped. So Wu did not fear anymore. When he was 34, it returned, and Wu again asked for that it be stopped, for he was very afraid. The motion stopped, but not before Wu saw something that he had missed completely in the corner, another door. On the door was strange writing, and Wu feared its implications. Wu asked the religious leaders about the strange door and the motion, and they warned him not to go near it, for they said that it was the door of death, and he would certainly die if his curiosity became action. They also told him that the writing on the door was evil, and that he should never look upon it again. Instead, they encouraged him to practice in rituals with them, and to give all of his talents and his earnings to the group. And by doing so, they told him that he would fare well. When Wu was 42, the motion again returned. Although Wu wasn't as afraid of it this time, he again asked for it to stop, and it did. God was good to answer so completely and quickly. Wu felt empowered by the results of his prayers. When Wu was 50, He became ill and died, although he wasn't really aware of it when it happened. He noticed the motion again in the corner and again prayed for it to stop. But instead, it became clearer and came closer. In fear, Wu arose from his bed only to discover that his earthly body remained and he was in spirit form. As the motion came closer, Wu started to somehow recognize it. He was curious instead of frightened, and his spirit body seemed somehow neutral. Wu now saw that the motion was actually two entities who approached. The white figures, as they drew closer, gleamed as though they had light from within. Finally, they stood before him, and Wu was astounded by their majesty, and he wasn't afraid. One of the figures spoke to Wu and said, "Come, dear one, it's time to go." The figure's voice was filled with gentleness and familiarity. Without hesitation, Wu went with the two, and he was starting to remember how familiar all this was, and he looked behind him and saw his carcass seemingly asleep on the bed. He was filled with a wonderful feeling that he could not explain. One of the entities took his hand and led him directly towards the door with a strange writing on it. The door opened and all three went through it. Wu found himself in a long hallway with doors to the rooms on each side. He thought to himself, "This is indeed a far larger house than I had imagined." Wu noticed that the first door with more odd writing on it. He spoke to one of the white ones. "What is the first door to the right?" Without a word, the white figure opened the door and motioned for Wu to enter. As Wu did, he was amazed. Stacked from floor to ceiling was riches beyond his wildest dreams. There was gold bars, pearls, and diamonds. In one corner alone, there was enough rubies and precious stones for all the entire kingdom. He looked at his white glowing companions and asked, "What is this place?" The large white one replied, "This is your room of abundance. Had you wished to enter it, it belongs to you even now and will remain here for you in the future." Wu was startled by the information. As they returned to the hallway, Wu asked what was the first room to the left. Another door with writing that was somehow starting to make sense. The white one opened the door and said to Wu, "This is your room of peace. Had you wished to use it?" Wu entered the room with his friends, only to be surrounded by thick white fog. The fog seemed to be alive, for it immediately encased his body, and Wu breathed it in, and he was overwhelmed with comfort, and he knew he would never be afraid again. He felt peace where there had never been any before. He wanted to stay, but his companions motioned for him to continue, and they again started down the long hallway. There was still another door to the left. What is in this room?" Wu asked. "It is a place where only you can go. said the smaller white figure. Wu entered the room and was immediately filled with gold light. He knew what this was. This was Wu's self-esteem, self-essence, and his enlightenment, his knowledge of the past and future. This was Wu's storehouse of spirit and love. Wu wept with joy and stood absorbing truth and understanding for a very long time. His companions did not come in. They were patient. Finally, Wu again stepped into the hallway. He had changed. He looked at his companions and recognized them. You are the angel guides, Wu stated matter-of-factly. No, said the large one. We are your angel guides. In perfect love, they continued. We have been here since your birth for only one reason, to love you and help show you the doorway. You were afraid and asked us to retreat, and so we did. We are in service to you in love. We honor your incarnation of expression. Wu felt no reprimand in their words. He realized that they were not in judgment of him, but in honor of him, and he felt the love. Wu looked at the door and was now able to read the writing. As he was led down the hallway, there were doors marked healing, contract, and another marked joy. Wu saw even more than he had wished for down the line. There were doors with names of unborn children, and even one marked world leader. Wu began to realize what he had missed, and as if he knew his thoughts, the guide said, do not be reproachful with your spirit, for it is inappropriate and does not serve your magnificence. Wu did not fully understand. He looked back down the hallway from where he had first entered and saw the writing on the door. The writing that he had originally frightened him. The writing was a name. It was his name, his real name, and he now fully understood. Wu knew the routine, for he had remembered everything, and he was no longer Wu. He said goodbye to his guides and thanked them for their faithfulness. He stood for a long time, looking at them and loving them. Then he turned and walked towards the light at the end of the hallway. He had been here before. He knew what was waiting for him on his brief 3-day trip to the cave of creation to retrieve his essence, and then onto the hall of honor and celebration, where those who loved him dearly were waiting for him, including those whom he loved and lost while on earth. He knew where he had been, and he knew where he was going. Wu was going home. The end of the parable. The author's postscript. The introduction of the character Wu by Kryon in the early stages of storytelling is an attempt of creating a person with no gender. Wu is a woman, a Wu man, which means a woman and a man. It's Kryon's intent to avoid creating a gender slant to interfere with your full understanding of the parable and your ability to put yourself in Wu's place. In the parable, Wu's home is obviously his life, or his experience, his expression, as Kryon calls a lifetime, an expression on earth. The analogy of the various rooms refers to the windows of opportunity that we all get, which come along with our contract, our karma, and therefore our potential while here. The part about Wu learning what makes him happy, sad, and angry, and then hanging these things on the wall to make him feel that way, is really insightful information about humans. It refers to the parts of ourselves that dig into the past and revisit events in order to feel a certain way. Usually, it's not appropriate, enlightened behavior, since it dirges up old memories so that we can feel anger, hate, vindictiveness, and victimization. Sometimes it's just good old wishing to be in the place that makes us happy, as such as when we were growing up. The fact that Kryon said that Wu placed these things on the wall for this purpose was so meaningful. When you come into my home, the items are on the wall are for all to see. They are my family photos and the works of beauty. What this means is that I have placed things on the wall to give them emphasis, even for benefit of strangers who comes in, because I feel that these items are special. Therefore, Kryon has Wu hanging his feelings up for everyone to see and react to on his wall of lessons. Wu, like many humans, wants to involve others in his own process, since it makes him feel better to do so. Wu doesn't know about the responsibility yet. Even so, later he would learn that no matter what stage Wu is in the enlightenment department, there is no judgment from God about it, ever. We see that Wu has fears, and his main one is about control. It seems that in his life, he fears the situations where someone could change his room, his life. His reaction to most of these fears is to stay the same. His real fear, therefore, is change, and he longs for stability, for static awareness. He also fears the past, for he doesn't know why. He turns to the other humans to learn about God, and he uses what he learns to protect himself from the change. This is an excellent example of what religion is teaching today. We have God playing the role of a responsible protector from evil, and church members are encouraged to follow the shepherd's protection through the valley of the shadow of death. This hardly encourages empowering spiritual thought from individuals, nor does it promote the concept of taking responsibility for what happened to you, as Kryon has advised us we might consider. The wonderful part of the story is that even though Wu buys into the average normal kind of religion doctrine, he gets results from his prayers. He receives the protection he asked for, and he is indeed shielded from the change and from the disturbing motion in the corner. Again, Kryon has told us that the mechanics of the Spirit of God are absolute, and that the loving energy of good, peaceful intent yields results. Remember the adage, be careful what you ask for. You might just get it. It's true, and this parable is proof of it. We all get various chances for empowerment, for self-discovery in every lifetime. And who got his, even though he felt he had satisfactory answers. God honored him with a poke from his guides. This was the irritating motion he saw in the corner, along with his vision of a door. It was his guide's efforts to bring him into another reality, thereby giving him his deserved opportunity for change and a chance to face his fears. It was again insightful of Kryon to show what the religions of the day told him about it. Wu was told that the motion was evil. To this day, this is the most often quoted answer for anything contradictory to popular doctrine, no matter what the religious beliefs. Many who disagree with another's point of view simply call it evil and never truly address any of the messages or look at the energy that surrounds the belief. So Wu finally died, and the thing he feared the most happened. The motion in the corner became a reality, but he somehow recognized it for what and was not frightened. We go on and see the various rooms beyond the dorm, and we share in Wu's discovery. The room tour is an exposure of his earthly contract, the one he made for himself, and along the way, his potential enlightenment, with riches, with peace, and personal inner essence of individual power, his peace of God. He recognizes his guides along the way, showing us that we know who our guides really are. We have hidden this, but we have this hidden from us while we are here. Imagine going through life with 2 or 3 friends ready to help you and love us at every step, and ignoring them. Wu did this very thing, and yet his guides did not stand in judgment of him. Such is the stuff that the love of God is made of. Wu began to get the picture, and to feel that he had folded up terribly. The guides, however, set him straight immediately and told him, "Do not be reproachful with your spirit. for it is inappropriate and does not serve your magnificence. This was Wu's crossover. At that moment, he went from being past human in lesson to becoming what he always was, a piece of God, a universal entity. The next thing he looked at was his real name on the door, and he remembered everything. When Kryon presents the journey and parables, he actually takes me there during a live translation. In the case of this parable, I got to feel the wind and weather and so forth. Kryon often lets me describe what I'm seeing, in addition to his thought groups given to me for translation. In the process, however, I'm affected greatly, often weeping with joy of full understanding of what is being presented while I sit in my chair. There is nothing that I can describe that is close to the experience in comparison, except what I get to feel is very, very real, like a very real dream. I actually stood where Wu did, poised at the brink of going home, bathed in love. I felt a tug of love from those who were already there, and I longed for my friends on the other side. I saw my brilliant, glowing guides and felt their love. And then I took the hand of Kryon and returned to my chair in the gathering in Del Mar, California. So, how did the parable speak to you? Vanessa?
Yes, I must tell you, it's also one of my favorites. I remember, you've read it a few times when I was, with you. It actually touched me the other way around today, because I love change. I thrive on change. And today it actually was turned around for me, and I got the sense of actually not changing so much and looking at my room for a change, because I very seldom look at my room and the things that I put on the walls, and I don't like that. I like looking for the doors and going through the doors, and so it was weird. It was like a mirror image of what the intention is, but it was very good for me. It was kind of a go inside lesson that I got. So totally not what it's supposed to be, but I loved it.
No, you see, that's why I love the parables, because whenever you read it and reread it and reread it, each time you get a different message, and the message is appropriate to where you are and what you need to get. So yes, it's wonderful to hear that you got that now from that, because there's so much in it. It's jam-packed with so much information and realizations for us, so that you can get to see other aspects of that. And I'm also, I love change. I thrive on change. When things become static and whatever, it's like I don't like that. I just love change, so I can totally relate to that part. And this lockdown period has forced us to look inside and to go within and to mine that and see what are we putting on the wall. So because and the cards also spoke about that today. It's like when you focus on the negative energies and you in that negative vibration, then that is what you project, and people see it on your face. So you see it on the expression of your face. And we don't think people know what's going on in our lives, but they can just give us one look and know exactly what our thought forms has been for the last day, week, year, it's our face is that map, our face is that wall with like our emotions on it. So very good that you brought that, that piece up.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Next. Barbara.
Yeah, like Vanessa, I also picked up change. You know, I felt the being restricted in that one room, surrounded by all this stuff that had hung on my walls, was suffocating me a while back. And the motion in the corner was the nudges that I kept getting to walk through that door. And I did, and you know, overcame all the problems, all the fears and negative stuff that I had always been taught about, you know, by religions. I walked through the door, and it's been amazing that I've actually been able to, first of all, see all the rooms, other rooms that there are, possibilities, and experience not all of them yet, but at least, and be alive to experience them. Not, you don't have to die to experience them.
Exactly, exactly.
And yeah, so that's what it was for me. It was just, I just felt really grateful that I took that, you know, I got that final nudge and walked through the door, and I made those discoveries for myself, and just started learning so much about everything, about the way the world is, the way everything is, the way I am. Yeah, that was it for me.
Wonderful. Thank you, yes, Barbara.
Thank you.
And yeah, Purusha, I thought about you and the family going through the remembrance of somebody crossing over, and this was a beautiful explanation of the journey that they go when they do, and what they do remember, and the love that they are received into. So there's a lot of messages of comfort for you there. I can see now the appropriateness of why they chose that one and why you have joined today. So I'm glad that the messages came through for you to benefit from that, and the family as well. For me, reading this was yeah, again, just we all need reminders of there are opportunities for us, because sometimes we tend to bog down by what we believe, and we think there's I'm going to say either limited resources or limited experiences or limited whatever, and it's just the limitations that we place upon ourselves. But the world's our oyster, and as Beryl sometimes says the messages that she gets is, all that is mine is yours. And God did create this wonderful, beautiful creation, and it's ours to explore and to experience and to have. There's so much, and it brings us back to the attitude of gratitude, because as you see the gifts and opportunities, and more comes, and as you appreciate that, more comes. And it's the meditations helps us to connect on the inside and connect with our team that walks with us, and for us then to be in alignment with that other opportunities that's available to us, for it is. So we are truly blessed in so many ways, and it's just for us to know it and to recognize it, and then to be that. Anybody else want to say something, add something before we start with the meditation? No, cool. Okay, you want to get yourself comfortable for the meditation? Welcome to the meditation for today. I want you just to get yourself comfortable, totally relaxed, totally at ease, and totally at peace. And start off with slow, deep breaths In through your nose and out through your mouth as you just detach, release and let go of all that no longer serves you, in order for you to be shining lighter and lighter, brighter and brighter. And just allow this tone, this vibration, this frequency to go in, through and around your body as you just relax. Wherever you hold any tension or stress, just detach, release and let go of all of that now. Taking in slow, deep breaths and being sure to oxygenate your body throughout this meditation. Pulling in your highlight and pulling in by highlight. Pulling in by gatekeeper angel, angel Geishla, for divine protection around us individually, collectively, and around this portal of alchemy. And permitting in those energies, vibrations, and frequencies that come forth in love and light in our space here today. Pulling in the team of light that works with you and through you, that helps you with your ascension process and helps you with your journey here on earth. Pulling in all the ascended masters of the light and the cones of the rays. Calling in all the archangels and their divine feminine counterparts. Calling in the mighty Elohim and their divine feminine counterparts. Calling in the full essence and presence of Father, Mother, God. Calling in ascended Master Sananda, Master Jesus. Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary and all other brotherhood and sisterhood of the ascended ray of Christ to join us now. Calling in the Pleiadian emissaries of the light, the Syrian Archangelic League of the light, the Ramadan intergalactic beings of the light, and our Arcturian emissaries of the light. Calling in Saint Germain, the keeper of the violet flame, to surround us with his violet flame for divine protection, burning through all the veils of illusion and attachments to low vibrational frequencies, thought forms, belief systems, or experiences, transmuting all of those now into the light. I want you to feel yourself now raising in consciousness, rising higher and higher, higher and higher, until you reach a lift. And as you stand in front of the lift, it opens for you. As you enter, the number that you are meant to go to today will spring to mind. Press that number and feel the lift rise to that level. Up, up, up. When you get to that level, the lift opens up and you exit. Before you are beautiful golden gates. They open on your arrival. You move beyond these gates to the inside. And instantly you feel the peace and tranquility, love, light, joy and harmony that resides here. And you breathe those feelings into each fiber of your beingness. Being totally at peace, totally at ease. Being surrounded by beauty. The most exquisite colors within nature. And before you are a number of pathways. Want you to choose the pathway that you wish to follow today and start going down that pathway. Observe the beauty that is along this pathway. And you get to an opening. And before you observe 3 doors. And these are the 3 experiences that you're ready to have a glimpse at, to get high understanding that is most relevant for you today. I want you to open the door to the left and enter. Calling in your master teachers and guides to be by your side. This is the most relevant information that they would like to impart with you in this now. Be in full awareness of what you're receiving and engage with your team of light, the beautiful beings of light with you. This is the experience personal to you. This is an opportunity for you to receive the higher wisdom and understanding that's available to you in this now moment. Surrender to it and integrate it within your being. With peace in your heart, you now exit the space back through the door and back to the opening. You now observe the middle door and you are ready to enter it. You turn the knob and step in. This is the next room, space, awareness that you are ready to fully receive, understand, and integrate. Again, your team of beings of light that walk with you is around you. You may ask them any questions and receive the wisdom and understanding from a higher vantage point. As you fully integrate that which has been shared with you in this space, you now again exit this door back into the opening, and now standing in front of the door to the right. And you open up the door and walk through with the beings of light that is with you. Third, wisdom, high understanding, and knowledge that you are ready to receive within this space opens up for you. Use this time to ask your guides any questions you may have pertaining to any of these experiences. To receive the full understanding that's available to you in this now. That is relevant for your current journey and where you are in this moment in time in your life. You fully integrate these feelings, healings, experiences within each fiber of your beingness, allowing it to transmute all that is not of the light, the enlightened state that you are moving into. All the dark aspects are being removed to make way for the new ways of being, doing, thinking, acting, experiencing on this earth plane. And as you step out of this door, back into the opening, you feel different, you look different, you are different. You feel the light emanating from you. You feel alive, feel sense of joy and excitement. On the next levels of your journey, and as you turn around, you become aware of our circle today and the other parties in the circle. We stand in circle facing one another. A diamond orb of light is hovering in the center of us with the earth inside it, opening up your heart and your third eye. Just allow yourself now to share the wisdom of higher understanding, wisdom, love, and light, all that has been shared with you. Just hold space for that consciousness and awareness now to be shared upon this earth. And you bring the energy back into your heart. You disconnect now from the earth and you see this orb of diamond light just floating up and leaving our space. We hold hands and raise our arms above our heads, holding hands together, raising the consciousness and the joy. And takes 2 steps back and disengage, honoring and appreciating the peace of God that is with us in circle. The God in me, the God Goddess in me, acknowledges that the God Goddess is within you, and the light within. In appreciation of the ceremony for today, with love in your heart, you turn around and follow the pathway back to the Golden Gate. It opens. You step through it, back into the lift. You feel the lift coming down, 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 down to the bottom. And as you exit, you gently descend, descend, descend back through a column of light, back through your crown chakra, into your body. I want you just to feel and sense a diamond shimmering bubble of light coming in all around you, with all the blessed rays of God within it and around it for your benefit. And now I want you just to ground this beautiful diamond ray bubble of light, going down deep into the earth, into the crystal heart of Mother Earth. Wrap your grounding cord around the big diamond crystal, anchoring the new levels of pieces of heaven on earth that you brought through to this earth, and anchor these consciousness and feel the love and support of Mother Earth coming back up your grounding cord, this diamond light coming back up into your diamond bubble. Feel yourself being connected as above, so below. And with this, I bid you the most magical day. May rotate your hands, rotate your feet, stretch and make sure that you're properly back into your body. And when you are ready, you may open your eyes. And then when you are fully back, I would love to hear what you experienced in your meditation. And if you would like to share with us, you can just say who would like to start and just check. Barbara.
I thought it was a beautiful meditation, thank you. I pressed 44, that was my lift number. And when I walked out, everything was just this golden light, that's all it was. And I was in a human form until I walked out of the lift, and then I just became part of that light. And I've noticed the last two meditations, I haven't been in my body, or I've been out of my body, if you know what I mean. So this was another of those. And I felt an enormous amount of love. I felt love coming out of me and love coming into me. It was like, it was just a two-way love thing. I just felt so much love. It was amazing. And I asked my guides if there's anything I need to know. And I got the message that actually I need to stop worrying so much about things and rest more. So I worry too much about being unworthy, and then when I do something that I consider is unworthy, I dwell on it instead of just letting it go and moving on. So I think that was what the message was not worry so much about things and just take things a little bit more as they come. That was my message. Anyway, it was a really nice, warm, loving meditation. Thank you.
Beautiful. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Yeah. I love the increase of love with you, meaning you experiencing it more. And that is ultimately what Source is. So it's so beautiful that you can experience it for yourself at deeper levels. And the messages that you always get is so awesome. So yes, and very appropriate. Good. Thanks for sharing that with us. Anybody else would like to share what they got from the Vanessa?
Yes, I think I'm having a very contrary day.
That's okay.
I didn't want to do it. I was not comfortable. I was irritated. I was like, oh, not another meditation. And I actually fought against it. And then I thought, well, I'm just going to leave. I'm just going to leave. I'm going to just, yeah. And I forced myself to keep quiet and just listen. And then I went into the first door and I found patience. And I was told, just be patient, just because I'm a bit, yeah, I want to start the next phase of my life, but we can't now. I want to do something. I want to travel again. I am so grateful of being just here. So I got patience very strongly, and that's basically the only door that I was just there. I went to the other doors, but I just kept going back, and eventually I got so deep. It was beautiful in the end, but it took me, I had this irritation that I had to go there, and this impatience. But yeah, in the end, I think I got my message.
Good.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that. Anybody else would like to share what they experienced? Okay. Just put up your hand if you want to. So for me, it was also beautiful. I did it with you guys. And the first door that I went through was sort of enlightenment. And it was just to integrate more light particles and to realize that which I experienced yesterday, it's just to get back to non-judgment and see it for what it is, but still like the angels are with us, not reproachful, not in judgment, not of anything like that, just to observe it from a non-judgmental point. So drop that, which was good. It was what I needed to do. The middle door that I went through was for healing, and to increase healing through compassionate action, but for all, not just for the select few that I sometimes select, but for those that I might have thought not being worthy of it, which is bad of me. Not bad of me, but it's like, okay, so compassionate action towards those that I've withheld it from, because I select where I send my energy and my love and my light to. But that's been more widespread now, which is good. And then the third door that I went through was to show me the importance, or where I'm now, of non-attachment. And Spirit says enlightenment is lightening up our load. It's all about lightening up whatever drags us down, whatever is heavy, whatever is, keeps us in a 3D reality. It's to clear out, let it go, set it free. So it's to see what we have been still attached to. In whatever way, shape, or form. It can be mentally attachments that you keep on thinking. It can be physical attachments to stuff, and that's again the reminder of the card of decluttering and letting go of old. But it's to do it on all levels: physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. So, because yesterday I got to a level where I was even prepared to walk away from all my crystals. Now, if you know me, I've sold some of my furniture in Durban to be able to move it to Joburg, because my crystals means that much to me, or they hold certain special energies, and they keep the vibration high around me. But I am at that levels where I can easily now walk away even from that. And there's few, so and even some of the stuff that I still have or had, I am more easily. I saw myself sort of as a butterfly flying light wherever I need to go. I need to be lighter and not have to carry so much, I'm going to say, earthly stuff with me. So, yeah, the message for me was non-attachment at deeper levels, and even more. So that was my messages through the 3 doors that I stepped through. Anybody else still want to say something before we end off? Vanessa?
I want to say something again. I like your message more than my message. I love the message.
I share.
I'm going to take it. I loved your non-attachment. Yeah, that resonated for me now. Thank you. That's beautiful, and I totally see where it comes from. And the image of you as a butterfly, I've got it. Yes, it's true. Thank you.
You're most welcome. Alrighty. So thank you for sharing your beautiful energy with the group and with me today. Thank you for your messages. Thank you for your light. Thank you for who you are. And have a beautiful, magical week. And I wish you all the best. Look forward to connecting with you next Sunday again. Bye.
Thank you, Fiona.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody. Cheers.
Yeah.